Okay, this is a quick tutorial on how to do some simple calculations using Excel. So what I've done is I've opened up a new Excel document and I've entered in two words, exams and grade. So let's imagine that you have 4 exams in a class and we have exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, and exam 4. Now we're going to enter the grades for those 4 exams. Let's say that exam 1 didn't go so well and that was a 60%. Exam 2 went a little bit better and it was a 70%. Exam 3 was also a 70% and exam 4 was a 100%. Okay, so now we have 4 numbers in here. We would like to ask Excel to tell us the mode. With only 4 numbers, it's pretty easy to tell what the mode is, so that would be 70. But this is how we would ask it to give us that information. For example, if we had maybe 100 numbers, it would be harder to scan. So what I've done is I've chosen a block over here, and I'm going to just write in mode, just so I can keep track of what I've done. And in the cell next to it, I'm going up here to the function sign, and I'm going to start with equals, and that lets Excel know that I'm asking for a formula. So I'm just simply going to say equals mode, and then I'm going to tell it which numbers I want it to use to determine the mode. So I'm going to do that by clicking and dragging all the 4 grades and then finishing with a parentheses and hitting enter or return. So as you can see, it gave us the correct mode, which is 70. So again, if I click on that, I can see up in my formula bar what exactly I did. So if you ever forget, you can take a look back at one example and then use that again. So now I'm going to ask for the median. And the same process works here. I'm going to ask equals and then use the word median. Now instead of pointing and clicking, I can also just simply keep track of which numbers or which coordinates I'm looking at. So for example, the first grade is in column B, row 2. So I could just simply type in B2 through B5. And that would give me the same information as well. So the median here is 70 because the median is looking at the middle point. And in this case, since we have 2 70s and they're right in the middle, then 70 is the median. Now I'm going to ask for the mean score. Now each of these is using a command that Excel recognizes. And so Excel recognizes the word average instead of the word mean. So we're going to use the word average. And then again, I'm going to grab all the numbers that I want and then close that parentheses. And it's telling me that my average score, my mean score on the exams is 75. Now the final thing I'm going to do is ask for the standard deviation. And this again tells you the dispersion or the average dispersion of the scores from that mean. So in this case, it says equals STDEV. And then again, I am going to ask for all 4 numbers, close the parentheses, and end there. Oh, and I should have dragged that over here. And now I'll say standard deviation. Now once I've entered these formulas in, if I change the numbers up here, then they will automatically update in the formula. So this can be useful. For example, let's say that you've completed 3 exams and you don't know what your exam grade for number 4 is. You can actually say, well, what would my final grade in the class be if I got another 70%? As you can see, the final grade would be a 67.5. And say, well, what if I got an 80%? Oh, well, then suddenly my mean score goes up to 70. And then again, what if I received 100% on the final exam? You can see again, everything automatically updates down here so I can see that mean score go up. This can be a useful, practical way to keep track of your own grades in a class, and also to do some sort of what-if analyses to see how far am I away from, for example, a goal or a scholarship cutoff or anything like that. And it's also a good practice for some of the things that we'll do later in the class.